Hello, Ducks fans. Welcome to today's podcast. Sorry if you hear any kind of air. It is actually my AC. But nonetheless, let's get to today's podcast. Thinking of ideas of what to do within the topics that of how to cover. Um, Today I'm gonna just kind of go a little over on some of the possible ideas of who makes an impact on the Ducks for this new upcoming season, and also what is needed, what kind of players that need to be leaders, and also need to step up their game. There's about 8 players that come to mind for this upcoming season, that players that are going to be probably the next moving on up in the NHL, and if they are in the NHL already, then they need to keep producing on what they have been, and make a bigger impact in Anaheim, for their own good, and also for the team. So this season, Max Comtois, I think that's how you say his name. It's Don't mind me about some of these names. They Some of them are easy, some of them are hard. But for me, I think Max. He seems like he's a very skilled player in his category. He plays left wing. Last season, he scored uh, 2 goals, 5 assists, and seven, totaling out to 7 points. He played only 10 games, but his skill level is one of the best top prospects that the Ducks are looking at bringing up, especially for this season. So expect him to be a good, solid player, winger, that is, for the Ducks. He his his style and how he plays the game, it's through the roof. A future, I one of the future players that is going to lead Anaheim, for sure, even long after I think maybe Getzlaf is gone. I was going to say Getzlaf and Perry, but sadly we don't have Perry anymore. So he could be later down the line, he could be maybe even a future captain. Who knows? But that's just my opinion. But he's got to do better. I think with training camp and everything, he should be up. Feel a little bit more at ease and more confident. Um, he can't. Obviously, playing in the NHL, it's hard. It's hard to score goals. But he's got to perform on his talent, and make Bob Murray. He's got to work for his paycheck. So, in that case, he's got to perform. His depth, and making sure that he can practice on all the skill levels and abilities that he could bring to Anaheim, and outdo himself, that he did last season. So I think he's going to be a good addition for the Ducks for sure. Hopefully we get to see him play more games this season. Um, so the next player. Sorry, I'm just gonna pull up the roster from last season, because I want to make sure that I get all my stats right. Um, so so how everything went last season as well. Sam Steele, he is expected to make the team, as some sources that I found. He is looking to make the team. There is high hopes for Sam Steele. I definitely don't see him playing in the AHL. I think he's got too much of a good reputation now that he's done with the goals, and he could definitely show that he's NHL ready. But looking at his stats, with the Ducks, he's got 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 points for a center, and he's played 22 games. So by that, he's not bad. Not bad uh, for what he brings to the table, and his style. Definitely a center that's going to be key for what the Ducks need, and um, he his ability. Only 5'11", but he still has a lot of uh, grit to his game. He's very impactful player, and he will definitely be a key to what the Ducks need. Um, when he played in San Diego, he he was let me see here. He was actually he scored quite a few goals. Actually, he scored a lot. I saw actually some of his stats that I was looking at, some of his highlights, and is very skilled player. I'm looking forward to seeing him wear the Ducks uniform. He seems like he's a very overall impactful player, and as I said, and he knows uh, what it takes to win. He's also, what these players need to realize is that they need to make an impact on the team. Going from last season, we didn't have the greatest season. It was everyone was thinking we were going to lose for Hughes, and we didn't get that. So this season, it's going to be different. It's going to be, with Corey Perry gone, and you got a few players that are returning. Ryan Miller. And then also we still have our veterans, but a lot of these new kids that are coming up, or if they're not new kids, they're kids that haven't played a lot, and we expect a lot out of them for this season. Looking at Sam Steele, especially for the goals, he delivered quite a bit, and he in the 2018-2019 season, for the goals, he played 53 games. 20 goals, 21 assists for 41 points. That's really great. He is that's what the Ducks need, is for someone to score. At this point, um, what we're looking at here is also, can Sam Steele, will there be enough room for him? Will there be, who's gonna, what line will he play on? All these things add up. Especially, this is why I said, like, if he's gonna come up, who would he possibly play with? I'm not gonna make that bold prediction because I don't want, I could be wrong, and I know a lot of probably Ducks fans would probably give me some bad vibe for that, but it's all up, I guess, to um, what Eakins wants, and we'll see how he does, how Sam Steele does in training camp, and see what his potential where he's in, and how what his results are, and how he plays well with other players, and how the chemistry with him and um, you know Max and also there's there's other centers that we're looking at too, such as like Troy Terry, although he can also play right wing as well. So there's definitely a diverse kind of depth that we're looking at here on this list that I have. Um, so hopefully, Sam still makes the team, in which he should. Um, I I don't have a doubt that he will not make the team. He will make the team. Um, so let's hopefully he can you know expand his goals and his potential to be a full-time NHLer this season. So up next is Josh Mahura. Um, Josh is definitely played. He definitely played. Last season with the Ducks, he played 17 games. Not too bad. Only got he only scored one goal, 4 assists, totaling for 5 points. A defenseman. Um, to me, I it's kind of hard to say on whether or not where we see Josh. I'm hoping that some people are saying that he will stay. He's for San Diego. He played 40 games. Um, he only got one goal. Same thing like he did with the Ducks. He got 18 assists and then totaling for 19 points. And this is for the regular season when he was with the Gulls. So it's I liked him when he was with Anaheim. I saw a few games when he played. I didn't see every game last season, but I tried to see every game to what I could. He, definitely he he's got a lot of talent. I feel like he's got a lot of talent that the Ducks could potentially use. Um, he's definitely a skilled player in his position. He plays defense, but it's also where you know where does he develop versus other players. There's there's definitely um, there's definitely some kind of viewpoint as to if he can develop himself to a high expectation to where the Ducks need him to be. Um, he's 21 years old, so he's still he's still fairly young. Um, hasn't hasn't barely even potentially uh, even gotten to his prime yet, so he's still developing. So I don't know if the Ducks sees him as a full-time NHLer yet. He could be, but there's no telling how or when that could happen. Um, there's you can't rush these things. You can't rush these players to develop at a high skill level um, that they're going to be the next Perry or Getzloff or the next Jacob Silverberg or Hampus Lindholm. You can't put these players and you can't rush the process. You can't. They have to know what's good for themselves, and that's pretty much how this process goes. I mean, that's why you have development camp. That's why you have prospect camp, and you see who makes a good fit and who doesn't, and also training camp, how they're going to develop with the other players that are actually on the team. So Josh, he's a he's a question mark. That's only in my opinion. But hopefully he does make the team, and we can see how where he's going to end up in next season. But I feel like he's maybe not there fully yet. Um, he is a third round pick, 85th overall from the 2016 NHL entry draft. So maybe he stays in for the Gulls for another season, and maybe potentially makes an impact on the team this upcoming season. And maybe next season he gets the spot. I don't know. I mean, uh, he it, maybe he has a fantastic season coming out of, or not season, but maybe he has a great uh, maybe he's come back and has a different viewpoint and a vision, and he's more focused, and he produces to what the Ducks are looking for, and maybe he does make the team. And becomes a full time NHLer. So we'll see how that goes. Um, and then Andre Kasha, he's the next guy that I look at. He needs to have a bounce back season, uh, and I say that because he last season he is he's 23. He's still young, and I'm not saying I know that he's been playing with the Ducks since the 2016-2017 season. But the reason why he's on my list is because he needs to have a bounce back kind of season. Um, last season he played 30 games, only got 11 goals, 9 assists and 20 points. And I know like there's various things that can happen. A reason why players have um, such low scoring, or their stats are not to where they should potentially be. Things happen such as uh, injuries. Um, things happen. They get sick. It happens. But I definitely like to see a better a better potential in Kasha, and um, see how he performs. So it's definitely something that hopefully the Ducks improve on. He definitely needs to improve on this season. He's got 20 points under him. Last season, for the 2017-2018 season, he played 66 games, scored 20 goals, had 18 assists for 38 points. So we definitely need to see him bounce back from he's I feel like he's way off from his potential. And every some seasons players have a downfall in their game, and they don't score as much as they should. But I feel like if you kind of understand what the Ducks need from you, and uh, you have to practice on your game a lot more. Um, as the result, you're not going to do as much. Uh, your your abilities are going to be limited if you don't have high expectations. So um, I think for that he could definitely have a good bounce back season. Um, it just depends also in this whole realm of who gets to play on the team and who doesn't, and who's going to be sent to San Diego. All these things. Um, obviously I see him staying, but definitely he has to uh, pick up the pace on scoring, and then also making sure that he's grinding out his games every single night, and we'll see what happens, but it's going to be interesting for sure. Next player that I want to talk about, definitely I think that this player is going to be a great uh, asset to the team, a great key player in for the team, and that's Troy Terry. Troy Terry, definitely, a solid key piece to uh, what everyone is talking about the Ducks, what he brings to the table, and I feel like that he is definitely going to be a solid role, and his potential, definitely an all-around good player. He can definitely play center. He can also play right wing, so he brings a lot of flexibility to his game, and that's what the Ducks should look at, and that's what he's gonna they're gonna look at that, and they're gonna he's gonna bring flexibility to his game, and then also to the Ducks as well. So definitely there's he'll make the team for sure. I think he's not he's a pretty good solid um, position player. Definitely has he's 21 years old. He's very good for his age, and right now where he's going, his development, and last season or this past season well, I should say last season, he played 32 games. Um, he scored 4 goals, 9 assists, and 13 points. The season before that, he only played 2 games, didn't have any goals, didn't have any assists, didn't have any points, but now you kind of see the development from one season to a next, and that's where we get to see a lot more in these players that are trying to be brought up. They want a position in the NHL, and they're gonna fight their way to try to get there. And their full potential, their development, everything all needs to go with that, and how they develop and how they train, and what they eat, what are they getting out of their fitness, and everything needs to be top notch. So I think once we see that um, development out of Troy Terry, and we see how well he performs this season. Hopefully, once preseason comes, and uh, we get a better idea of how all these players are going to be, um, how their chemistry is going to be, how definitely what skill levels can they bring, and um, there's young guys on here that can definitely perform, and I truly believe that Troy Terry is gonna make a big impact on the Anaheim Ducks this upcoming season. Um, now I also want to talk about Daniel Sprong. Um, now I don't know for sure that I don't know for sure what I liked Sprong. He a great player. I love the fact that what he did for the Ducks in such a short period of time. Definitely a player, I think, in my opinion, that should be brought back. Well, not brought back, but um, considered to be part of this team, and still continue to develop with the Ducks. there's no telling. I don't know too much of how well he'll perform this upcoming season. I can't really justify um, his what he'll bring to the table, but he played 47 games last season. He had 14 goals, 5 assists, totaling for 19 points. He is a right winger. Um, so I mean, there's a lot of wingers on here. There's 4 right wingers and there's 1 left winger. So I mean, we need wingers, yes, but we also need defensemen. So um, there's definitely when I look at the stats of Sprong, I feel like he could make a impactful player to the Ducks. He showed it last season. Definitely a player that can make the team. I feel like, and his his ability to um, how what he does and what he does on and off the ice and how he trains and he's he got drafted from Pittsburgh, second round, 46th overall. They could definitely give the Ducks a potential um, booster in their game. Last season, he played with Pittsburgh and Anaheim. Pittsburgh, he played 16 games, had 0 goals, four assists with 4 points, and then he came to Anaheim, played 47 games in the same season, uh, 14 goals, 5 assists, and 19 points. So that right there tells you that when the players that he's playing with, um, specifically on his line, is he's gonna he's got potential. And I feel like that is going to be a key element that the Ducks will need, and great player overall, and we'll see how everything plays out. Um, Next player I want to look at is Kiefer Sherwood. I did not like this player when he played for San Diego. I did not like him when he was playing against the Wolves. I watched him at a game, and he just seemed like a dirty player. Not saying that that's not what the Ducks need. The Ducks do need some sort of enforcement. Um, but looking at Sherwood, when he played for the Ducks, he he played 50 games, and he had 6 goals, 6 assists, 12 points. Um, so to me, I think it's kind of like up in the air at this point on if he will get a position in Anaheim. It's kind of like it's hard to say. Um, for what he's had, especially for San Diego this past season, he's played 29 games. He had 6 goals, 12 assists, and 18 points. I feel like if he's gonna make the team, or if he's gonna be part of the team in Anaheim, his I think you may see him uh, maybe play with San Diego again. I don't know. Uh, there's no telling. I mean, he's 24 years old. I don't know if they're still like all this stuff is just my opinion. I don't know for sure like who who will make the team and who won't, but I think I mean, he is 24, so he is up in that his prime. Um, right now, I mean, I feel like he definitely has a good opportunity with Anaheim. I do like his attitude. Don't get me wrong. I didn't like it when he was in San Diego in the playoffs, but sometimes that you need those players that will definitely grind your team through the playoffs, and I think he might be a good additional. Um, he's a winger for sure, but who knows? I mean, this roster that we have such talented skill right now. It's hard to know who's gonna be with the team, and at this point, there's no solid stone of the roster. So I can't say, well, a month from now, maybe I can tell you who's going to be an impactful player, but right now I can't say that. So I think Sherwood would be a potentially good fit. He's shown that, uh, but we'll have to wait and see. Um, and then the next player that people are saying that he makes the team for sure. This his name is Brendan Grolm. I can't pronounce his last name. Sorry. Um, but he played 8 games, got 0 goals, one assist for 1 point. He is a defenseman, so um, you know, I can't really say so much about this player, to be honest, because I haven't watched him. Sadly, I've not done my homework so much on him, but looking at some of his stats, he only played 8 games, so this is, I mean, he got drafted from Buffalo, 2015, second round, 21st overall, and or 51st overall, sorry. Um, but he got the 21st pick, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him. I mean, I feel that he could still. I think he should go down to San Diego and get some sort of sort of development out of that. It could boost his confidence level, and it could give him the potential to build himself. I mean, he's 21 years old. I think by putting him in San Diego, at least the beginning of the season, see how he does, and if he does well, then he comes up. But when he played Buffalo for 3 seasons, he didn't really even have a lot of points. He only had, the only points that he's had total was having. Uh, Actually, I'm sorry. For this past season, he had one point. And then when he played with Buffalo, for the 2017-2018 season, he had 5 assists. So he's only got 6 goals under his belt in the NHL. So for me, I mean, he looks like a potentially good young player to play for the Ducks. I feel like that if his confidence level goes up and he can, be sent maybe to San Diego. I know maybe people will hate me on that, but I don't see him for right now. I don't know if I see him making the team. Um, it's hard to say, but all these elements come to play. It's not just about. I know the game is not just about scoring, but your defense. You're a defenseman, so maybe like I said, maybe this gives him a better confidence level on going down to the AHL and performing his game and see how it is for the next season. But for me, um, I don't know if he gets the start. Uh, I Guam, Gomley, I think that's his name. He, I definitely don't. I don't know at this point. I don't think he's a very he's not NHL ready yet. That's just my opinion. I mean, yeah, he got 5 assists for Buffalo in the 2017-2018 season, but to me, it's hard to say. So this is just my opinion. Um, but take it what you may. Um, so now I want to talk about the players that need to be leaders of the team. So um, first off, our captain, um, Ryan Getzlaff, he needs to have a better impactful season. I know being 34, he's getting up there in age. He is. I don't know how. With Perry gone, I don't know what this does for his how he's gonna experience this. I mean, of course, like if you get traded, you have a best friend on your team, and he gets traded, and he's been on the team for like 14 seasons. Of course, it's gonna impact you. I mean, who wouldn't who wouldn't be impacted by this? It impacts the team and it impacts the fan base, but it's going to impact Getzlaff extremely because Perry and him have been through so much, and they've won a cup together. They've gone through ups and downs with the team. So for me, I think Getzlaff does need to have a bounce back season. Last season um, he had 14 goals, um, uh, 3 assists. No, I'm sorry. He played 67 games. Um, he definitely he played a lot of games. Um, I think let me see here. Go into his stats. Let me see here. Last season he played. So yeah, he played 67 games. He got 14 goals, 34 assists for 48 points. That to me, I mean that's great. He's still scoring. He's still being a captain of his word and trying to score and win for the team. But before this past season, the 2017-2018 season, um, he played less games. He played 56 games, scored 11 goals, so he had less goals, but he had more assists. He scored 50 assists. He had 50 assists, and for a total of 61 points. And then the year before that, he had 73 points. He scored 15 goals and 58 assists. But he also played more games than he did this past season, and then the 2017-2018 season he had 74 games he played. So at this point, when you start to hit your 30s in the NHL, especially when you start getting into your middle-aged 30s, players start, in some cases, sort of slow down a little bit. It's just the development. I know I say development a lot. I'm sorry, but just how you perform as a player once you get older, it's not going to be obviously as much. to your full potential as he was when you were your early 20s. So hopefully Getzlaf, he he could put the whole Perry situation behind him. He finds a good I guess you could say another hockey buddy to to perform like he did with Perry and but I don't know if how Getzlaf will do this season. I think we if Perry was traded or not traded but signed with a different team and he got bought out, then it definitely there's no other way that Ryan Getzlaf could be potentially in that same boat. I mean, I don't want to say that it could be true, but it we saw it with Perry, and Getzlaf could have the same thing. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a captain of the team, you're a league, you're the league captain, you're assistant captain. It doesn't matter. I mean, there's things that happen. I love Ryan Getzlaf. I loved Perry. Um, but it's of course it's not up to us, and um, I just hopefully that Love has a better season based on the players that he plays with. That's going to make him feel a lot more confident and have a better season for himself. Um, so the next person I think that needs to have a little bit of a better season is Hampus Lindholm. Um, a lot of these players I'm going to talk about, they're mainly our veterans. It's obviously, well, they're not mainly. All of them are our veterans, but our veteran players. But Lindholm, I, I mean, he's about a 30-point guy, so I can't really give him too much, too much for this. But six goals, 22 assists for 28 points. As a defenseman, that's pretty good. I mean, he only played like 76 games, but for that, I respect him on that, and it's not easy. I mean, especially being a defenseman in the NHL. Um, and in the 2017-2018 season, he had 17 goals, 23 assists, and 40 points. Um, so I mean, oh no, sorry, that was different. He had, sorry about that. I was looking at Jacob Silverberg. Uh, for the 2017-2018 for Hampus Lindholm, he had 13 goals, 18 assists, and 31 points. And he played 69 games, so he definitely played less games, but got more goals. So it's kind of funny. How that happens. You play less, you score more, and then you play more, you score less. So um, to me, I don't understand that. So the next the next player I want to talk about obviously is Jacob Silverberg. Um, for the 2018-2019 season, he scored 24 goals, had 19 assists for 43 points. Left winger, and he played 73 games. 2017-2018 season, 17 goals, 23 assists for 40 points, and he played 77 games. Um, I he definitely needs to be prone to his skill level. He needs to for this upcoming season since he has signed a new contract with the Ducks. He definitely needs to own that contract and earn his paycheck for sure. Definitely, he needs to be a leader. Needs to stand up. especially when the team may be going through some losses. Everyone's got a backbone to their ups and downs, and needs to do what's better for the team. And then the next player is for the 2018-2019. It's obviously Cam Fowler. I feel like Cam Fowler for the 2018-2019 season, he could have done a little bit better. Just my opinion. He needs to score. I feel like he could score a little bit more goals than he does assists, but for the 2018-2019 season, he scored 5 goals, 18 assists for 23 points. Games played, he played 59, and then 2017 to 2018 season, he had 8 goals, 24 assists for 32 points, and he played 67 games. And he is defenseman, so and then last but not least, well, not last but not least, I'm gonna get to 2 more players here, but for this sake, I'm gonna get down to the last defenseman. For the 2018-2019 season, Josh Manson, he had 3 goals, 13 assists for 16 points. He played 74 games. The season before that, 2017-2018 season, he had 7 goals, 30 assists for 37 points. He played 80 games. He was also a Norris Trophy winner. He got a Norris Trophy. And based on stats, I felt like he could have done a little bit better this season. I'm not trying to, throw shade at anyone or throw them under the bus, but when as a player such as Josh Manson, you can't help but think, well, how is he going to perform this upcoming season? What is his potential? What can he do? I mean, he's 27 now. So I mean, he's fairly tall, 6'3". Good for a defenseman. I feel like he got the Norris Memorial Trophy in the 2017-2018 season, so that's a great award to have. But like I said earlier, every player has an up and down in their season. It happens, but hopefully he bounces back this upcoming season. He scores more. He's played with Anaheim for this is going to be his 6th season now. Let me see. Yeah, 6. He's going to be with the Ducks for 6 seasons. So for me, I think he could definitely do. He needs to stand up to be a veteran, and take other players under his wing, and be the leader that he is, and continue to develop himself, and perform his skills. And I think whoever now is going to be playing with him on his line, I don't know what will be with, because I'm sure Eakins will find who plays well with who, and hopefully we see a different strategy. Next player, my last player, Rickard Rakell, another veteran. I want to look at definitely had a sliding off season. Uh, he definitely had um, for for a player of his caliber, I'm surprised. He's 26. He's fairly young. I know a lot of fans, viewers are probably going to give me a lot of excuse me, a lot of hard backfire on what I'm saying, but for his potential at 26, I'm surprised that he did not score more than what he did. Um, being part of the Ducks, he played 69 games, had a total of 18 goals, 25 assists for 43 points for the 2018-2019 season. And then for the 2017-2018 season, he played 77 games, 34 goals, had 34 goals, 35 assists for 69 points. And that season, he had the Lady Byng Memorial Trophy. And then the year before that, he got a Lady Byng Memorial Trophy again. So definitely some of the players that we don't expect to see having a fall season in Anaheim. Obviously, this past season, everything was going downhill for the Ducks. But I strongly feel like that we can improve on these areas, and hopefully, with the kids coming up, as they say, they're graduating from college and going on into the real world, as you could say, which is the NHL. So hopefully we see that, and I'm very excited to see how things play out. I definitely, all the things that were said today was my opinion. I don't know, who's gonna make the team. I don't know who won't make the team. I don't know who's gonna be put into San Diego's system. This is strictly my opinion. Everything that I said is strictly my opinion. What I wrote down is, what I follow. That's really what I found on the internet. Um, and hopefully now that we see that the Ducks enjoy their summer and get ready for camp, and hopefully we'll see what these players can actually do once everything is finalized and the roster is complete. It should be a fun season to see, and I'll probably be doing another one of these once the roster is finalized. Then we'll definitely see um, who may then now have a good potential of being an impactful player for this upcoming season. So thank you all for watching and listening, and sorry again if this podcast was a little long, also a little bit, you know, some of the things that I was saying, it took a little bit while to figure out what to say, but as I said, I'm still getting used to this. I'm gonna probably potentially get a better mic. I'm actually using a headset, so that might be underway. I can actually have that on my desk, and I could do everything from there. So um, also, there's also gonna be some. I'm gonna do another podcast actually after this one, just going over some other stuff, and so thank you all for listening today with me. if you are just passing by, you happen upon this video, please like, please share, please subscribe. Um, if you know any Ducks fans that are wanting to get in listening to podcasts, feel free to share my channel. I definitely want to help build it grow in the community. Uh, and then also, if you know any, um, I just got a blog up, so feel free to check that out as well. I'm gonna start posting some stories on there. Um, but until next time, thank you so much. Take care, everybody. And until next time, bye bye.